Hello, hello, hello. So, this is day 5 of the gratitude practice. And just to recap, so we've covered day 1, just to breathe and really be grateful for just the fact that you are alive. So, hopefully, you're using your breathe oil or at least taking those deep breaths first thing in the morning every day. That is every day. The other oil that we covered is juniper berry. This is the oil for insightful, take you out of denying to insightful. So use this along the process as you need. It can be a great one to have every day, especially if you're feeling like some of the work here on the gratitude practice is hard. The other blend that you might want to be using every day is your Release Your Fears blend, or just as needed. It's not a have to do every day. So today may be hard for a lot of us. So today, on day 5 of the gratitude practice, I am going to talk about self-acceptance and how that plays into gratitude for us. So self-acceptance allows for love to come into your life, your heart, and your very being. If you cannot make acceptance with yourself, then you will be kind of essentially at war within. And then just like a quote that I have always loved is, a city divided against itself cannot stand. That's actually from Matthew 12:25, but it doesn't matter. That is truth. Anybody who knows war knows, like, that can't stand in the same house. So when you're divided against yourself, you're going to be basically taking yourself down or tearing yourself apart. You're not going to be able to stand. So gratitude, the state of being and who we are, if you can't get to the place of love and acceptance of who you are and your very being, then you will have a hard time coming into a deeper place of true gratitude, one that embraces life, your life specifically, the life you breathe in, the spirit you hold within you, and the love you receive into your life. So it's really important to be in that oneness and not countering yourself there. Okay, so all of this will be hard if ultimately inside you hear the voice that says, I can't be friends with you because X factor, whatever it is. Or if your voice inside you says, I can't have that because you are not. It's very down talking to yourself. It's very, you have not risen or performed up to, so therefore you don't deserve, or you shouldn't have, or I don't want to be with you for the rest of my life. And guess what? You are with yourself, so you've got to come into some kind of self-acceptance of who you are. So for as long as that voice is there, it will stiff arm, basically. It will hold away you from receiving what's yours, from receiving love, acceptance, joy, life, and abundance. It's going to stiff arm all of that because it sees that as a threat. So you might be having this thought now, and I know that this is something that I think a lot of people do struggle with. We don't want to become selfish or narcissistic. So a lot of us might be saying in our heads right now, but I'm afraid that if I learn to love myself and accept myself, instead of basically having this like lowly contempt of who I am, that I'll become selfish. But if you were here for yesterday's, or no, the day before, anyway, if you've been traveling our 30 days of gratitude, we'll have already talked about fear and its place with gratitude. It has no place with gratitude. So did you notice the word, I'm afraid that if I learn to love and accept myself, yada, 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 the negative story. Perfect love, and when I say perfect love, I'm thinking of like the 1 Corinthians 13 definition of perfect love. It gives a great list there. Go look it up in the Bible. But it is not selfish, and perfect love casts out fear. We've already covered that. So when you say I'm afraid, you're already outside of perfect love right there. I think we all know that we want to strive to be in perfect love and to be in that space. When we're outside of that, we're going to experience things that really are less than our true calling, and anyway, we want to stay within that. So there's absolutely nothing to fear if you're loving in the real meaning of the word defined in 1 Corinthians 13. If you're talking about that kind of real love, there's no reason to be afraid of it, because it's not narcissistic, it is not selfish, it's defined as not selfish, and so neither is learning to love and accept yourself, okay? So, and really what I want to bring it down to is just that we have to honor, accept, and love the gift that we have. Your gift to be you, your body, your soul, your life. That is your gift, and to honor, accept, and love that, and to not reject that, and to not stiff arm it. If you live your life like that, you're basically probably going to just live an unhappy life, really, if you're always trying to disconnect yourself from yourself. And I personally don't believe that that's the way that God intended us to live life. So, in fact, how we do life within us is how we often do life without us. So like going outward, how we deal with relationships, people, circumstances, the outward part, it's already happening within us, and it's just bleeding out in that area. A lot of times we tend to look at the outward stuff and we'll try to fix that, or paint it really pretty. But if we just took time to take care of what's inside, then we wouldn't have to worry about the outside. So, we are told to love your neighbor as yourself. I can't remember the reference there, but it's a very common verse in the Bible. And this implies that we should know how to love ourselves in a healthy way. I'm talking about a healthy way, y'all, by the way. Two, how we love ourselves in a healthy way is how we love others. So we've got to get to a place where we can love ourselves in a healthy way so we can love others in a healthy way too. Okay, so point also, we do not demand that others get their act together and start delivering before we can give them love. Like if you go into relationships like that, then you probably don't have very good relationships lasting. No, we usually give freely and without charge. That's what we expect in a real relationship and friendship. And a true loving friend loves in truth and spirit. They will be there to cheer you on and be your big supporters, but they will also know how to deliver like hard truth sometimes. That's just, it's going to hurt, but it's going to grow you. And during that process, it can feel a lot like, painful pruning. But, so we kind of understand this, okay, that's the relationships on the outside. But sometimes we neglect the fact that that needs to be the relationship on the inside. That you have to love, accept yourself, and befriend yourself in a way to not be an enemy to yourself and stiff arm things and just basically dogmatic on yourself, but rather be a friend, the kind of friend that you'd be to someone else. Side with yourself and treat yourself as a whole with honor. Honor your body, honor your spirit, honor the gift of life that you have and whatever is in your life. That's an honor that you bear. So accept and love yourself for who you are, not who you are not. And we'll touch on some more of that in some of the later days. So what does this have to do with gratitude? I know, y'all are probably so sick, but I told y'all from the beginning it's going to be different from most gratitude practices. It's going to get down really deep, but what I've seen with other gratitude practices is it tends to be a little bit superficial. That's why a lot of times we'll fall off by the end of it, because we're going through the list and we're going through the words, but it's not always making a real life heart change in the way we live and believe. And this one is going to go a lot deeper so that you'll have a life change with it. So what does this have to do with gratitude? Okay, so if you cannot accept yourself and give and allow love for yourself, then what you're really telling yourself is this: that because you lack, talking about yourself, because you lack whatever it is, X factor, you fill in the blank, you are not worthy of this gift called love. And this creates an identity of lack. It lies to your very being that that you lack and that you fall short and you are undeserving, whatever that lie is. Then the story will not be the story of abundance and gratitude that your soul hears over and over again, but rather the story that it's going to hear over and over again is you lack and you are in want. And it's hard to be grateful and live in gratitude when you are in a constant state of lack and want and there is a void. It is hard. So by not dealing with this simple thing called love and acceptance of yourself, you're going to have this void and this lack and want that is it's gonna be an underlying thing that's gonna keep you from experiencing true abundant gratitude and joy in your life. So a lot of the stuff that we're covering is rewriting the stories, really looking deep to what you really are telling yourself and believing, and moving forward. So on to the oils that you can use to support day 5 practice of love and accepting yourself. The first one is grapefruit oil, and I use this one internally. I would not recommend you use a lot of oils internally, because just a lot of them don't really stick to good safe qualities. Okay, let's just say that. Okay, so I just use this. Read on your bottle and see if it says internal. But doTERRA is safe to take internally, so I use grapefruit internally. You can also diffuse it, but grapefruit is great for taking you from divided to a validation state. So to help with not feeling divided within yourself, having that war factor of back and forth, get on the same side and be validated. You are validated, okay? You don't have to prove your worth, and you don't have to perform. You are enough as you are, and you were created, so you are worthy to be loved. Grapefruit is also the oil of honoring the body. So it takes you from the state of being divided to being validated, but also helping you just to implement honoring your body, appreciating your body, body as a whole, mind, body, spirit, soul. When we are unaccepting, or dare I say unloving toward ourselves, we push love away from others, we simultaneously want to starve ourselves out, and we have that need to feed ourselves at the same time. So this is really going to help with, okay, reuniting those to a healthy love. We're going to feed, nourish, and take care of our body, our soul, our spirit, our heart. Okay. Yada yada. Okay, so next oil is rose oil. So we touched on this yesterday. Rose is the oil of love. And do that video if you haven't done that. It's day 4. You need that one before this one. Rose is love. And then wintergreen is accepting. So what I recommend for this is either that you make a roller bottle, or that you just apply these and use a dilution, of course, to your oils. But put grapefruit over your heart first. followed by rose. And we want to do grapefruit first because it validates you and it brings you out of that state of divided. And it honors your body. Rose second because it is the oil of love and brings love. And wintergreen third because it is the accepting. So you want to take the steps in validation, loved, and I am accepting of that. Okay, I am validated, I am loved, I am accepting of that. And just layer them on like that. So, and then at wintergreen, highly dilute that one if you're going to use that one. So you can do the layer approach. I really think that's great, but a lot of us run out of time. So what I'm going to do is just put a recipe to basically take these 3 oils, put them in a roller bottle, and just use that over your heart daily, especially if you're someone who really struggles with love and acceptance of self. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them below. I will be glad to help. Okay, I think that's it. Have a great night.